In the far reaches of the galaxy, humanity had always been seen as the underdog, a species from a backwater planet with little to offer but determination and ingenuity. The Galactic Council, an assembly of the most advanced alien civilizations, barely acknowledged Earth's existence, considering humans too primitive to be of any consequence. But that perception was about to change. The story begins on the bridge of the starship Vanguard, the pride of Earth's fledgling space fleet. Captain Sarah Whitaker stood at the helm, her eyes fixed on the view screen displaying the looming figure of an alien warship. The Council had finally recognized humanity, but not in the way they had hoped. Instead of welcoming Earth into the galactic fold, they saw humanity as a threat that needed to be contained. "Captain, incoming transmission from the alien vessel," reported Lieutenant Chen, his voice steady but eyes betraying a hint of anxiety. "On screen," ordered Sarah, her voice calm and authoritative. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a stern-faced alien commander with reptilian features. "Humans, you have trespassed into Sovereign Council space. Withdraw immediately or face annihilation." Sarah didn't flinch. "This is Captain Sarah Whitaker of the Starship Vanguard. We come in peace, seeking dialogue, not conflict. However, we will defend ourselves if provoked." The alien commander sneered. "Your primitive threats mean nothing to us. You have 1 minute to comply." As the transmission cut off, the tension on the bridge was palpable. Sarah turned to her crew. "Activate shields and prepare for evasive maneuvers. We need to buy ourselves some time." The alien ship fired first, beams of energy cutting through the void towards the Vanguard. The ship shuddered under the impact, but the shields held. "Return fire," commanded Sarah. "Target their weapon systems." Lieutenant Chen and the tactical team moved swiftly, and the Vanguard retaliated, its advanced weaponry surprising the alien ship. The battle was fierce, with both sides sustaining damage, but humanity's ingenuity and unyielding spirit shone through. Amidst the chaos, a smaller vessel detached from the alien warship, heading towards Earth. "They're launching an attack on our planet," someone shouted. Sarah's eyes narrowed. "We can't let them reach Earth. All power to the engines. Pursue that vessel." The Vanguard surged forward, engines roaring as it chased down the alien ship. The crew worked in unison, their determination fueling every action. This was their home they were defending, their families, their future. As they closed in on the alien ship, Sarah gave the order to fire. The Vanguard's weapons blazed, and the alien vessel erupted in a ball of fire. Cheers erupted on the bridge, but Sarah knew this was just the beginning. "We've made our stand today," she said, her voice resolute, "but this is far from over. Prepare to send a message to the Galactic Council. They need to know humanity won't back down." The battle had been won, but the war for humanity's place in the galaxy had just begun, and Captain Sarah Whitaker and her crew were ready to face whatever came next. The days following the skirmish saw the crew of the Vanguard working tirelessly to repair the damage and fortify their defenses. Captain Sarah Whitaker knew that their victory was a temporary reprieve, and that the Galactic Council would not let this affront go unpunished. In the heart of the ship, the engineering bay buzzed with activity. Chief Engineer Marcus O'Reilly wiped sweat from his brow as he supervised the repairs. "We're patching things up as fast as we can, Captain, but if they hit us with another ship like that, we might not hold out." Sarah nodded, her face grim but determined. "Do what you can, Marcus. We need to be ready for anything." Meanwhile, in the communications room, Lieutenant Chen was busy coordinating with Earth's defense forces. "We've sent out a distress signal to our allies," he reported, "but there's no guarantee they'll arrive in time." Sarah leaned over the console, her mind racing with strategies. "Keep trying, and inform the other ships in our fleet to stay on high alert." Later, in the briefing room, the senior officers gathered to discuss their next move. "We can't just sit here waiting for them to come back," said Commander Elena Rossi, the ship's tactical officer. We need to take the fight to them. Dr. Aisha Patel, the ship's chief scientist, shook her head. We're outnumbered and outgunned. A direct assault would be suicide. Sarah raised a hand to silence the debate. Elena's right. We can't afford to be passive, but we need to be smart about this. We need information. Chen, any word from our scouts? Chen tapped his tablet. One of our recon drones picked up a transmission from a nearby system. It's a council outpost. If we can capture it, we might be able to gather intel on their movements and plans. Sarah's eyes lit up with determination. That's our target, then. We'll hit the outpost and see what we can find. As the Vanguard prepared for the mission, the crew steeled themselves for the upcoming battle. The ship slipped through space, heading towards the enemy outpost. The tension was palpable, but so was the resolve. When they arrived, the outpost appeared lightly defended. They're not expecting us, Elena remarked. This could work to our advantage. Let's move quickly, Sarah ordered. Deploy the Marines and secure the station. We need those intel files. The Vanguard launched its attack with precision. The Marines, led by Sergeant Major Jax Daniels, stormed the outpost with remarkable efficiency. Blaster fire echoed through the corridors as they pushed forward, overcoming the surprised alien defenders. In the command center, Sarah and Elena worked to access the outpost's mainframe. Got it! Elena exclaimed. Downloading their data now! As the files transferred, alarms blared throughout the station. We've got incoming, Chen warned. A council fleet is on its way. Prepare for immediate extraction, Sarah commanded. We've got what we came for. Time to get out of here. With the data secured, the Vanguard and its crew made a hasty retreat, just as the first enemy ships appeared on the scanners. The outpost exploded behind them, a distraction to cover their escape. Back on the Vanguard, Sarah reviewed the captured intel. This is it, she said, a spark of hope in her eyes. We've got their plans, their weaknesses. This could turn the tide in our favor. The crew cheered, their spirits lifted by the successful mission. They knew the road ahead was still fraught with danger, but they also knew they had the strength and determination to face whatever came next. Captain Sarah Whitaker stood before her crew, her voice ringing with conviction. Today, we've shown the galaxy that humanity will not be underestimated. We will fight, we will endure, and we will prevail. For Earth and for the future of humanity. The data retrieved from the alien outpost proved to be a treasure trove of information. As the crew of the Vanguard delved into the files, they uncovered crucial details about the Galactic Council's fleet movements, supply lines, and, most importantly, a potential weakness in their defenses. In the war room, Captain Sarah Whitaker and her senior officers pored over the holographic map, displaying the enemy's strategic positions. This is it, Sarah said, pointing to a system marked in red. Their command hub. If we can strike there, we can cripple their coordination and buy Earth the time it needs to fortify its defenses. Commander Elena Rossi nodded. It's heavily guarded, but if we can take out their communications array, we'll throw them into disarray. Dr. Aisha Patel added, our best chance is a surgical strike, in and out before they can muster a full response. Sergeant Major Jax Daniels, always eager for action, grinned. Just say the word, Captain. My Marines are ready. Sarah looked around at her crew, feeling a surge of pride. We've come this far together, and we've faced down everything they've thrown at us. This is our moment. Let's make it count. The Vanguard set course for the enemy's command hub, every member of the crew knowing the stakes. As they approached the system, the tension was palpable, but so was the determination. Coming up on the target, reported Lieutenant Chen. Scanners are picking up multiple enemy ships, but their patrol patterns leave a small window for us to slip through. Take us in, Sarah ordered. Prepare for battle stations. The Vanguard glided through the outer defenses, using its advanced stealth technology to avoid detection. As they neared the command hub, the ship's weapon systems hummed to life, ready to unleash their fury. Target the communications array, Elena directed. We need to knock it out before they can call for reinforcements. The ship's cannons fired in unison, beams of energy lancing out to strike the enemy installations. Explosions rippled through the station as the array was destroyed, cutting off the command hub from the rest of the fleet. "We've got their attention," Chen noted, as enemy ships began to converge on their position. "Time to move," Sarah said. "All hands, brace for combat." The Vanguard weaved through the enemy fire, its advanced shields absorbing the brunt of the attacks. Jax and his Marines launched in drop pods, descending onto the station to sabotage critical systems and create further chaos. Inside the alien command hub, the Marines fought their way through the corridors, encountering fierce resistance. Jax led from the front, his blaster firing with pinpoint accuracy. "Push forward!" he shouted. "We need to reach the control room!" Back on the Vanguard, Sarah coordinated the attack, her mind racing with strategies. "Elena, direct all firepower to cover the Marines' advance. Chen, keep our exit route clear." As the battle raged, the Marines reached the control room and began planting charges on key systems. "Charges set," Jax reported. "We're ready for extraction." "Get out of there," Sarah ordered. "We'll cover your retreat." The Marines fought their way back to the extraction point, the charges detonating behind them and sending shockwaves through the station. The Vanguard swooped in to pick them up, its guns blazing to hold off the pursuing enemy ships. As the last of the Marines were safely aboard, Sarah gave the order to retreat. The Vanguard shot away from the crippled command hub, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Back on the bridge, the crew cheered as they watched the station collapse in a series of explosions. "We did it," Elena said, her voice filled with relief. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "This is a major victory, but the war is far from over. We've shown them what humanity is capable of, and now we need to keep pushing forward." The Vanguard set course for home, the crew ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. They had struck a powerful blow against the Galactic Council, but they knew the fight for humanity's future was just beginning. As the Vanguard made its way back to Earth, the crew worked tirelessly to analyze the impact of their daring raid. The data they had gathered and the blow they had dealt to the enemy command hub had given humanity a much-needed edge, but the war was far from won. In the war room, Captain Sarah Whitaker and her officers reviewed the latest intelligence. "The Council is reeling from our attack, but they're regrouping quickly," Elena reported. "We've bought ourselves some time, but not much." Dr. Aisha Patel added, "The data we retrieved includes information on several key Council supply lines and shipyards. If we hit them strategically, we can weaken their ability to sustain a prolonged war." Sergeant Major Jax Daniels, ever the optimist, grinned. "Sounds like we've got our next targets lined up. Let's keep them on the defensive." Sarah nodded. "Agreed. We need to keep the pressure on, but we also need to rally our allies. This fight is too big for us to win alone." The crew of the Vanguard knew their mission was twofold: continue striking at the heart of the enemy while building a coalition of support from other civilizations that had suffered under the Council's rule. Their first stop was the planet Zathara, home to a race known for their advanced technology and fierce independence. The Zatharans had long resisted the Council's control, and Sarah hoped to forge an alliance. The Vanguard descended into the atmosphere of Zathara, greeted by a fleet of sleek silver ships. "We're being hailed," Chen said. "It's the Zatharan High Council." "On screen," Sarah replied. A holographic image of a Zatharan leader, tall and regal with shimmering scales, appeared before them. "I am High Counselor Tarek. What brings the humans to our world?" Sarah stepped forward. "High Counselor Tarek, I am Captain Sarah Whitaker of the Starship Vanguard. We seek an alliance against the Galactic Council. Together, we can overthrow their tyranny and establish a new order of freedom and cooperation." Tarek's eyes narrowed. "Your species is young and untested. Why should we risk our people for your cause? Sarah's voice was steady. Because alone, we are all vulnerable. But together, we have a chance to change the fate of the galaxy. Humanity has shown that we will not back down, and we will fight for our right to exist. Join us, and we can bring down the Council once and for all. There was a tense silence as Tarek considered her words. Finally, he nodded. Very well, Captain. The Zatharans will stand with you. But know this, we expect results. Failure is not an option. With the Zatharan alliance secured, the Vanguard set out to gather more allies. They traveled to the planet Draconis, home to a warrior race with a long history of resistance. The Draconis warriors were impressed by humanity's tenacity and agreed to join the fight. Next, they visited the aquatic world of Aquara, where the wise and ancient Aquarans offered their support, providing vital intelligence and resources. As the coalition grew, so did the hope of victory. The combined fleets of humanity and their allies began a coordinated series of strikes against the Council's strongholds, disrupting supply lines and crippling shipyards. The final battle loomed on the horizon as the Allied forces prepared to launch an all-out assault on the Galactic Council's capital. The Vanguard led the charge, its crew ready to give everything for the future of humanity. On the bridge, Sarah addressed her crew one last time. This is it, the moment we've all fought for. Today we stand united with our allies to take down the Council and secure our place in the galaxy. We fight for Earth, for our families, and for a future free from tyranny. Let's show them what humanity is made of. The battle that followed was fierce and unrelenting, with ships clashing in a dazzling display of firepower. The Vanguard spearheaded the attack, its weapons blazing as it tore through enemy defenses. Amidst the chaos, Sarah's voice rang out over the comms. Focus on the command ship. If we take it down, the rest will fall. With their allies supporting them, the Vanguard pushed forward, targeting the heart of the enemy fleet. The command ship erupted in a massive explosion, signaling the collapse of the Council's forces. As the dust settled, cheers erupted across the Allied fleets. The war was over. Humanity had not only survived, but had emerged victorious, forging a new path in the galaxy. Back on Earth, Sarah and her crew were hailed as heroes. The alliances they had built remained strong, and together they began the work of rebuilding and creating a future where all species could coexist in peace. Captain Sarah Whitaker stood on the bridge of the Vanguard, looking out at the stars. The journey had been long and arduous, but they had proven that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy would never be the same, and the future was bright with possibility.